Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Long War. Took a break for a day or so because I had to go to work. You know, adulting sucks. So last time we just cleared out a landed UFO site. And somebody, I can't remember their names yet, but here we go. Orlov took some dings from a couple of floaters. So yeah, that was a hell of a way to meet a new enemy. And again, in base Long War, he would have been screwed, plastered, dead. He would have been wallpaper on that UFO. So those extra health pips and shit are really, really welcome, especially that attack armor being +5 when it used to be +2. The attack armors that Kevlar they're all wearing. Now, since it's been a day and I have the memory of a goldfish, we're just going to check in on a couple of things here. Okay, so we got alien materials coming up in 2 days, and we'll see what kind of resources we have for what we can do after that. Oh shit, I thought we already had a sectoid captive, because usually that interrogate sectoid priority thing doesn't appear until you capture an alien, to my knowledge. So that kind of threw me for a loop. And again, it's still really painful for me that you guys can't see my cursor, so if anybody knows how to fix that to where you can, please let me know. I'll even give you a shout out when I fix it. Let's head over to...
Flesh and metal troubles me. What do we risk with our own investigations into the melding of human and machine? Will we see a line in the sand and refuse to cross it? Or will we move forward, willing to sacrifice everything for the sake of total victory? I have to believe that is not our future, provided, of course, that the aliens' technology remains in the right hands.
And that whole remains in the right hands thing, that'll come up later. And again, just as a quick refresher, in the bottom right, or I guess covering most of the right side of the screen, all of the reason that I never bulk order items, like you see all these laser rifles, I've got 1, 1, 1, 1, and so on and so forth. I might have ordered a few too many. But the reason that I never bulk order items is in case, here, let's check the price on what... Oh shit, I can... Okay, cool. I'm gonna queue up more laser stuff than if I have the alloys. Okay, so one of these costs 37 credits and 6 alloys. So let's say one of my interceptors gets shot down, or one of my satellites gets blasted out of the air, and I've only got, say... Okay, so let's say one of my satellites gets blasted out of the air. And I've only got 200 credits left. These satellites cost 284 a pop. And satellites are much more important than getting a couple of weapons up. If I bulk ordered these laser rifles, let's see how many do I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's enough for a full squad. Okay, so these 8 laser rifles. Let's say that I bulk ordered them. Well, that's going to total out to a lot more than 84 credits that I would save by canceling that order, but it cancels the whole thing. So instead of canceling those 8 laser rifles, and yeah, I get my materials back, but I'd also lose all of the manufacturing time that I'd sunk into them thus far. I can instead cancel 3 of them. That's going to be, what, 100 something? I'm not going to bother with perfect math. But, you know, 37 times 3, that's more than 84. So I could just cancel 3 of these individually, have the other 5 still coming up, and it'd be, I'd save a lot of time. So, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, cool, we have stun rifles coming up. Okay, so I've got laser rifles building, I've got 1 scatter laser. Might use a second one, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna build a second one of these, because items can get damaged now, and even though I believe we have a repair bay up, if we don't, it's building. Okay, yeah, we have a repair bay. But if a soldier is wounded or killed, depending on the severity of how much damage they take, there's a chance for their items to be damaged, and you can't use them again until you repair them. So that's why I always like to have a surplus stock of material and ordnance. Okay, so I'm gonna scan for just a second here. 1042. That'll. Oh!
We're receiving
Oh, fuck.
urgent requests for
Whoa.
assistance.
Slow down.
There are abductions in progress at each marked site.
Okay, well, we're gonna take care of that in just a second. Oh, yeah, okay. Repair time... Because he was the one that was lightly damaged in the last sortie, right? And this guy was the one that was moderately damaged? Okay, so aircraft repair time looks mostly similar. I'm going to want to order some more interceptors soon, even though we don't have satellite coverage over North America. Even though we don't have satellite coverage over North America, in Longmoor, interceptors stationed on a continent, even without any satellites, have a very small chance to detect a UFO. Again, it's really small, but it's still there. So basically, they fly patrols over the area. But the main reason that I want interceptors on continents that we don't have a satellite yet is I think these things are ready in 3 days. And transferring takes what, 72 hours between continents. Let's see. Well, I don't want to transfer here in case there's no confirmation screen. But basically, so this guy, he's out for 12 days. I could swap him out to the North American hangar and swap an interceptor that we would have here back up to Europe, and that would take 3 days to get an aircraft ready to fly over European airspace instead of 12 waiting for this thing to repair. Now, one more thing that I wanted to show you guys before we head out to that abduction. You'll see the shield over Argentina and the one over Germany especially. A little bit over Japan. And also over Nigeria. Those shields are filling up because of all the item requests that we've fulfilled for them. So their defense is going up and their panic's going to start increasing slower. Alright, now, I believe that's all that I wanted to look over. So let's take care of this. No, Argentina. Densely populated urban area, taking control of any number of buildings. Okay. Alright, still waiting for some comments on Saito. At some point, eventually, I'm just gonna flip a coin if I don't get anybody answering for her. Oh, shivs have fatigue now? Interesting. Oh, I don't think I ever properly explained fatigue. So basically, every time your soldiers go out on a mission, they need rest. And even if they're not injured, they need rest. It's something like 3 or 4 days. And it scales with how long they're out there, as in how many turns. I'll just... No, wait. Oh, shit. I was about to bring out the wrong fucking people. And it scales with the longer they're out there, the more turns. You have lightning reflexes, I'll take you. And, you can bring fatigued soldiers out on missions with no penalty during the mission itself, but afterwards they will incur a light wound, no matter what. Even if they got out completely flawless, they will incur a light wound. Should I bring infantry? It's like, on one hand, there's really nothing heavy enough for me to warrant using gunners at this point, but I don't want them to be completely underleveled when they do become necessary. Same with Rocketeers. I don't know. Another thing that, well, not another thing, but just a weird thing I've noticed with my mic on my headset is that, here, let me give you guys an example. When I'll say something like, when I'm thinking, I probably just cut out there, like, a second or so in. I don't know why it does that, like, it drops the volume whenever, I think it just drops the volume whenever it hears the same exact noise over a period of time, it just drops it. I'm doing a horrible job explaining it, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's incredibly annoying, but I couldn't find anything in Shadow Play for that. I might be looking in the wrong place, but I couldn't find anything for that in Shadow Play, so I'm just gonna assume that it's something with my mic. Now, are we... Okay, we're not bringing a sniper, so you do get a strike rifle. Where are the marksman scopes? There they are. Provided I don't forget, by the time I finish kitting these fuckers out, I'm going to pop back over to engineering real quick and queue up some laser pistols. Yeah, 68. Yikes. It hurts, guys. It hurts. Oh, it's painful. Now wait, there's one thing I wanted to check for AP and HE grenades. 5, 7 with upgrade, 12 radius. Throwing further, relative to center will not take damage. Explosive may leave our researchers unable to exploit enemy artifacts. Yeah, so this isn't what I was checking, but just with APs from the, what, 2 or so times I've used them so far, from what I understand, just like any other explosive, you don't get the bodies if you kill them with an AP, but you do get their weapon fragments. Or at least there's a chance to get their weapon fragments, because everybody we've killed with APs so far, we've gotten their fragments. So that's nice. Short range heavy damage. Does damage to cover in the blast radius. Destroys alien artifacts. Friendly targets are affected. Or are affected. Okay, so what I was checking for is some kind of penetration. Because as you'll recall, every time we've used an AP on a drone, which was I think twice, it's done very low damage, which could have just been a bad roll. But it did like what, like 1 or 2 damage every time, or at least the roll was 1 or 2. But it was all negated by the drone's hardened upgrade. So actually, what would be a better thing to check is okay. So we're bringing Roberts. I'll remember him. I believe Thunders. I'm not bringing this one because it's fatigued. I believe Shivs have the same upgrade. Fuck. Okay, so I can't see their natural hardening. There's a joke in there somewhere. But what I was checking for is that hardened plating upgrade that Shivs have. I saw something similar on drones, if not the exact same thing. I don't know. But what was the next time I run into a drone, or the next time I bring a Shiv, I'll take another look at it and read through it carefully, because I think I remember reading something about there's really high explosive resistance. And if that's true, then it would stand to reason that every mechanized unit has that upgrade and has increased explosive damage resistance. So that could be another reason to bring HEs as well. Okay, so we've got our squad. Again, before I forget, I'm gonna queue up some laser pistols here. Oh my god, that is fucking cheap! Let's go with... I mean, it's only 1 alloy. Let's go with 8 for now. It's only 1 fucking alloy. Let's go with 10. Okay. Let's rock and roll. And I know I've said this a lot, but I'll say it again. If you guys want me to name soldiers after you, actually, here's what I'll do. I've given this some thought. Here's what I'll do. When soldiers reach, I believe it's E4. Oh, and when I say E1, E2, E3, and so on and so forth, I'm talking about anyone in the military or familiar with at least US military ranking systems will know what I'm talking about. E1, 2, 3, 4, so on stands for like enlisted rank 1, enlisted rank 2, enlisted rank 3. When I say O1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's officer ranks, and yes, Long War does have officers. In the base game, when I say the base game, I just mean Enemy Within. When I say base Long War, I mean Long War without the rebalance. In the base game, your soldiers were, it's like they mixed in. There were no separate officer ranks. They mixed it all in together. So it was recruit, or no, technically rookie, but it was rookie, squatty, corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, major, and colonel. So by the end of the game, you'd be fielding squads full of colonels, which, I mean, XCOM, being an international organization, does have its own ranking system, but Long War, here we go, okay, more floaters.
Time to kick this sucker off.
Oh, that's right, because it aggroes any squads that are in range of the squad you aggroed. Okay, gotcha. Where was I? Oh yeah, ranks. Where can I move you? So we're just gonna move you here. Long War splits your troopers between enlisted and officer corps. Let's drop this thing first. So your troopers, you know, we've seen it so far. It's rookie, which I just call privates or recruits, or, you know, ablative armor. It's an inside joke in the fandom. Basically means your rookies are human shields. It goes recruit slash private. Well, it's PFC in Long War. This bug again. Manually enter term. Where's the end key? There it is. I know I'm rambling with the same shit over and over again. I tend to do that, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on it. It's just awkward talking to a screen with nobody else in the room. It goes PFC, Specialist, Lance Corporal, Corporal, Sergeant, Tech Sergeant, Gunnery Sergeant, or something. Oh, fuck. Not good. Jesus Christ. Okay. To be fair, that was a very stupid move, pushing him up here. That's totally on me. My fault. He's gonna be in the medbay for like a fucking month. Okay. So, to avoid rambling any more than I already have, basically, Long War splits your guys between enlisted and officers. So instead of just providing like random bonuses like squad size, which again I have already unlocked those 2 squad size upgrades with the second wave options, but there's basically some across the board upgrades for specific classes and stuff like extra XP for kills, so on and so forth, that the OTS unlocked in the base game. In Long War, those are still there. I'm just figuring out who to have shoot at what. Let's try to get you around the side. Long War's OTS still has all of those upgrades, but the main purpose of the OTS is training officers, which give leadership-specific bonuses to your troops. And I'll give you more details on that when we eventually get the OTS up and running and start training officers. But on a completely different note, in the base game, when your soldiers would... Well, actually, when your soldiers reached, I believe it was E4, they get a nickname, or a call sign, or whatever you want to call it. In the base game... Come on, dude. In the base game, E4 was Sergeant. In Long War, it's Corporal. So what I'm gonna do with... Okay, so he's got 1 HP. He's basically out of the game. What I'm gonna do with naming troops after you guys... Nice shot. what I'm going to do with naming troopers after you guys is when somebody hits E4, so basically when they earn their nickname, that trooper is going to be open for, there's the acid. That trooper's going to be open for renaming. Those Seekers are probably moving around somewhere. That's why it's frozen here, because they're stealthed up. Oh shit, here we go. Oh, good man. You know what I said about not bringing gunners earlier? Well, that thing's damage resistance is, well, we have a reason now. So basically, to avoid rambling anymore, when somebody hits Corporal and gets their nickname, they're open for renaming. At first, I'm only going to be cool with renaming their nickname and customizing them a little bit. Later on, I mean, I'm still thinking about this, but later on, I'll probably let you guys like rename them entirely, as long as it's not something ridiculous. Okay, so he is in acid. You'll see on the right there under penalties. Let's see if this is okay. So this is mostly the same as Long War base. But that decreased damage resistance is new, that minus 50% DR, but DR seems to play a much bigger part in the rebalance than it did in the base game. Oh, the acid is neutralized after a few turns. Oh, you know what? It was like that in the base game and in base Long War anyway. So basically, for those of you who've played the base game, this is excuse me, this is the Thin Man Poison. Unlike the base game, where honestly I haven't played base Enemy Within in so long, so I can't really remember what most of the penalties are for the base. But one of them was you would take 1 HP of damage every turn. In Long War, that's no longer the case. As long as you hunker down and don't do anything, you won't take damage. Holding medkits confers partial immunity to acid. It doesn't really say exactly what it means by that. I'm gonna move you here and heal him the rest of the way up, which I should have done before I moved them, but I'm still trying to get used to paying attention to everything. Oh man, I forgot how powerful shotguns are in this rebalance. But I'm still kind of... Why'd the combat music stop? That Thin Man's still out there. I'm still getting used to trying to focus on talking to you guys at the same time while I'm playing this. And it's still awkward, so that's why when I'm talking to you guys, I'll start basically looping what I'm saying like I'm a fucking broken record. Or I'll start saying the same shit over and over again, or I'll just do something entirely stupid because I'm not paying attention. Okay, so you've got 68 on him. Let's move Wilson up and start covering some ground. Okay, there's a mel canister up by that bus. We're gonna scoot you. There's 2 more Seekers, I believe? Oh, what the fuck did I just do? Oh. No, so the F2 key gives you a top-down view, and F3 recenters it? Oh, F3 and F4 kind of tilt the camera? Huh. Weird. Okay, and another thing, I finally figured out what, if you look under his name tag and above his stat line, I finally figured out what all this is. That is a tally for the current mission. That aliens killed is how many bodies the entire squad has dropped on this operation. And the Thin Man 1 and Seeker 1, that's how many aliens are currently active on the map. And I don't know if that just includes the ones that are currently engaged, or the ones that you've aggroed and are currently moving towards you as well. But this is a really useful... Sorry, just adjusting my headset. This is a really useful thing to have. And I'm just assuming that they couldn't have placed it anywhere else. Okay, so we've only got 1 more Seeker. But that fucker could pop up anywhere. So what's your... What are you like? 72? Okay. Oh, and just a thing I haven't covered yet. Long War, pretty much every weapon you can steady. Steadying is basically you kind of hunker down, shift your stance, and steady your breathing, get ready to shoot. So it ends your turn, but as you can see, it increases your aim by 20 for the next turn. So, or well, just for your next shot, because bonuses lost if your unit moves, changes weapons, or attacks. And also I think it's lost if you get shot. So it's kind of a nice little bonus move. Hey, there we go. Nice hit. Okay, so we're gonna put LaRue here on Overwatch. Ah, and that's why. Man, that heat ammo is just... Ooh, only 6? Damn. But that heat ammo is so useful against those Seekers, good lord. Again, it used to just be a 50% bonus. But just goddamn. Okay, well. You know, I almost said by the book, but then I remembered... Holy fuck. Yeah, okay. And again, this wasn't bullshit aim rolls or anything like that, or the aliens getting a lucky shot. This was my fault entirely for moving him up as far as I did against floaters, who are flying enemies that have pretty damn good mobility and more than decent aim. So him getting wounded here is entirely my fault. I just wasn't thinking. So again, totally on me. Jesus. I feel bad for him. Just one thing that never ceases to amaze me with XCOM is how fucking attached you get to your troops. Okay, when in cover grants plus 30 DR, or 30% DR, and again, and minus 15 defense is... I can't tell if that's a typo or not, but I don't want to take it just in case it's not a typo. Yeah, okay, so, oh, this grants steadfast, too. So, steadfast, as it says, immunity to most non-psionic forms of panic. The steadfast was a perk on its own. And I believe it was always in the middle of Lance Corporal right here for every subclass. Basically, it's again, it's well, here it says most non-psionic forms. It used to be all. So, if you get shot, or you know, poisoned with acid or whatever it may be, or there's also some enemies that have abilities specifically designed to intimidate you, and I won't. For those of anyone who's played XCOM, base, Long War, or whatever, knows exactly what I'm talking about. But even though I assume that most of my audience has at least played XCOM before or knows some of what it is, has a base idea, I'm not gonna spoil what it is. It's much more impactful to see it in person. I will say 2 words. Blood Call. Anyone who has played XCOM knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so anyway, if you get shot, blown up with a grenade or whatever it may be, it's basically the chance to panic is no longer there. You're immune to it. And I would actually be interested to see if the alien artifact item confers immunity to psionic forms of panic too. I would assume it doesn't, because instead of like you being a hard-ass motherfucker and toughing out a bullet wound, it's there's an alien directly mind-raping you and trying to fuck with your head. So yeah, Sentinels, 2 reaction shots. Now, if I recall correctly, Sentinel used to be on... You could take up to 3 shots on Overwatch, but the first one had to hit for you to take a second one, and the second one had to hit for you to take a third one. I don't remember ever taking Sentinel. I can't quite remember why. I think it was just because the other options were far more powerful. But I don't know. Opportunist reaction shots can crit, and covering fire. Overwatch CCS triggers on most actions and eliminates the reaction fire penalty against stationary targets. Grants damage to suppression based on weapon class, unaffected by bonus damage from equipment. Plus 2 damage to explosives. Okay, so again, I'm assuming that so grants damage to suppression, skipping all the shit in parentheses, plus 2 damage to explosives, plus 3 damage to strike rifles, and plus 6 damage to sniper rifles. I'm assuming well, no, there's no assumption to make because you can't suppress with strike and sniper rifles. So yeah, my previous confusion about Mayhem was is now cleared up. So for gunners, grants damage on suppression. It would be nice to see exactly what. But when it says weapon class, I'm assuming that it's the damage that it grants is tweaked based on whether you're carrying a SAW or an LMG, which again are 2 different weapons, or a rifle class weapon like an assault rifle, carbine, battle rifle. Yeah, I remember Rocketeers had Mayhem, and I'm pretty sure they were the only ones who did beforehand. So yeah, plus 2 to explosives, 3 to strike rifles, 6 to sniper rifles. So for snipers and scouts, this is basically just a straight damage buff. And I know I've already taken this for one of my gunners. I also know I'm spending a shitload of time on this guy, but I think better when I'm thinking out loud for this kind of thing. And since I'm also very deliberate with this sort of shit, I don't just want to be sitting here like this, just not saying anything. But we're going to take Sentinel, because we've already got one of our gunners on Mayhem. And the only way to figure out if abilities are good in the field is to dish them out and see what happens. The exception is this one. That minus 15 defense is creeping me out. I'm going to assume that it is not a typo. Yeah, here we go, rapid reaction. 3 reaction shots during Overwatch, but reaction shots have a minus 10 aim penalty. I think minus 10 was just the base penalty for Overwatch beforehand. I'd be interested to know what exactly the aim debuff is for just basic Overwatch. Grants opportunists and covering fire as well. Okay, sorry, just bumped my mic there. But here we go. Fire in the hole. Grants plus 30 aim for the purpose of reducing rocket scatter if the soldier has not moved this turn. Increases the range of the blaster launcher, which I've only ever gotten it in the base game, because again, I haven't even gotten close to plasma tech. I don't know exactly where the blaster launcher is in the tech tree in Long War, but it is a it's basically a reverse-engineered alien plasma rocket launcher that guides around cover and obstacles. So it's incredible, and the fact that it doesn't scatter is amazing. But yeah, we're gonna take fire in the hole. 9 HP raw. Good lord. Oh man. That's just nuts. Again, I feel bad for this guy, because him taking all those knocks was entirely my fault. It'd be so nice, so nice, to have an assault with run and gun and lightning reflexes, but run and gun is just, it's too powerful not to take. If you have an assault and you don't have run and gun, you are doing it wrong. Okay, let's check our haul here. Good, good. Only 8 frags. I guess there were only 6 guys. 52 meld! Hell yeah! Alright, $72 and Panic in Argentina has decreased.
Remember, we will be watching.
Cool, okay, so that's gonna do it for me for now. Since I've got the day off, I should be able to record some more of these, but we'll see. Alright, well, thank you everybody for watching. If you've got any suggestions on strategies or just questions about the game in general, feel free to pop one down in the comments and I'll answer it and give you a shout out in the next video. Thank you as always for watching. I have been the Angry Militant, still just as pissed off and salty as usual, and I will see you guys in the next video. Catch you later.